Gosh, I started coaching after my coach told me about 20 million times, like, you really need to be a coach. And I was basically, my coach, I was her first client. Can you imagine how scary? Like, I came in like the Tasmanian devil, and I didn't even like let her do a night before call with me. I just opened my box and I was like, I'm gonna be skinny tomorrow. And I didn't read my guide, and I did everything. I wound up doing everything right, but originally I did what my personality usually does, which is just go into it like a spaz. And so I was on plan for about 3 weeks, almost 4. I had lost almost 20 pounds. And I had so many people asking me, and finally I just said, I'm not going to have time to go to the bathroom. How am I going to be a health coach? It's just dumb for me to say yes to. And I'm that girl, honestly, that overcommits. And so I just basically was like, you know what, I'm going to get my mom and my mother-in-law healthy because they were asking. And then I'm going to, maybe just help a couple other people. And that's what I did. And the rest is history. We just completed our 3rd month as integrated presidential. That was 2.5 years ago. And actually coming up on 3 years. And it's just been a wild ride ever since.
I love it. Awesome. So what are some of the concepts or fears that you had at the beginning?
Oh my gosh. So I lost 82 pounds, and quite honestly, I could probably lose another 20. So let's just say I had 100 pounds to lose. But I was a little nervous, like if I lost 100 pounds, maybe I would lose my booty, and I didn't want to lose my booty, so I did get 100 pounds. So, but I think I was kind of, I thought people would look at me and be like, she's only lost 20 pounds. What is she doing becoming a health coach? Like, she has not hit her goal weight. She has not maintained any weight off. So that was like one of the things, like I thought maybe people would look at me and be like, not so much, friend. Like, you're just selling something. I did not want to sell a single thing. I just wanted to help people. And so I was totally thinking like, oh my gosh, like people are thinking I'm trying to like sell them like a pill or a carb blocker or whatever, which clearly is not what we do. But until people hear you and your enthusiasm and the things that you have to offer them and the hope that you can bring them and the life change, the trajectory for their family, they don't know. And so I was nervous about that. I was nervous about the time commitment. I was really busy. I have 2 kids now. Well, when I started this, I had 2 kids. Now I have 3. And I have a husband that travels. My kids are in all-star cheer. I am all over the place. We're at cheer at least 5 nights a week. And I was working full-time. I mean, I was working like 50 hours a week. I would come home, open my laptop, back up, and continue working with 2 and then 3 kids and a husband that travels all the time. So time was another huge thing for me. I was just fearful that I couldn't keep up. But I would say one thing that I have learned, and this is a really good nugget, is that you need to fit your business into your life and not your life into your business. Meaning you do you. You have your life, you do what you need to get done, and put the business in there, and specifically fitting it in the nooks and crannies of your life. Because there is a lot of time that we waste on a day-to-day basis that we don't even know. We don't even understand, like stuff on Facebook, like, for hours. I mean, I was spending hours probably on Facebook, and I was like, no, I don't have the time to help coach. What you don't have time for is to say no to health coaching and just say no to the business. Sorry.
I love that.
Awesome. No, that's great. If you can go back to the day that you started, what would be one thing that you would change?
Oh gosh, listening to my mentor. Because I'm the kind of gal that wants to pave the road myself, which is really not smart. Because the road is already paved, the signs are already up, take a right turn here, go this direction, here's a stop sign. Literally, the road is already paved for you. Why try to take your own direction? Why try to reinvent the wheel? Everything is already tried and true and proven, and don't think that you can do it better than the people that have done it before you, because you can't. I can't do something better than Janelle. I can't do something better than Dougwood. I just can't. And so once I figured that out, and I was like, okay, let me tune into my mentors. Let me clean up the mess that I created from day one. I was in my box and didn't read the guide. That was me. And I just, once I keyed in on the fact that this is a repeatable process, it changed my entire business. And that was about a where I started. I tried to do it way. I went on my own in about 30 days with no help from a mentor coach. Just the only one to sit down like I was like, well, I don't have time to talk to you. I don't have time to watch YouTube. I don't have time to do any of those things. And again, what I did have my mentor was because once I started doing the difficult process, it totally changed me and it freed up so much time so it could help so more.
I love it. So I wanted to kind of throw something in there because I know I watched your recording from Glow Global again and again and again because it's so amazing. But one thing that you stated in there, drop it like it's hot, crew. One thing that you stated was you were kind of at a standpoint for like 9 months and where you were for your business. What changed the day that you decided, okay, like I need to kind of get out of that plateau that we talk about with health coaching and me really grow? What kind of change or what mind shift did you have?
Yeah, I sat at ED for 9 months, and it's because I didn't have a conquering mentality. But in addition to not having a conquering mentality, the coaches that I did bring on, I just couldn't figure out what I was doing. I really sucked. I was like, I am not a good coach of coaches. I will never be a coach of coaches. And here we are, 300 coaches later, just rolling deep. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a good coach of coaches. You know, and I'm not saying that in a prideful way, but I almost convinced myself not to start any coaches. But there was one thing that Dougwood said on the other side of the Zoom screen that just enamored me, and I did that from there on out. Be in the business of building senior coaches, because once you get that down and you figure out what process works, it's wash, rinse, repeat to ED, and it's wash, rinse, repeat to building FIBCs and regionals and nationals and globals. And it really is just as simple as that. You really don't want to overcomplicate it more than that. It's just a 5 clients at a time. And then all of a sudden you get people to ED, and then it's crazy. It's so simple.
I love it. I love it.
So how much of that in the beginning was motivation, and how much of it was systems? You know, I mean, I'm guessing the motivation brought you out of the gate, but
yeah, totally. And I'm a pistol, clearly. I'm sure you can see that. But I'm also very type A, and I don't follow anyone's process. I'm not organized. I'm a disaster. Even still, sometimes like my client binder needs a therapist, and you know, I mean, it just is like I'm not an organized person, and I don't have messes all over the place. I just am not a systems person. And so the only thing that throttled me forward in my business was putting systems in place, because without that, I could not move forward. And for those 9 months, I was just kind of like treading water and starting clients. And I did not have the system. I had motivation. I had the testimony. People would look at me and just throw credit cards at me. And I was like, nope. And then I started realizing, we got to stop. We have to do an assessment. I have to follow this script. I have to put in the order the same way. And it was just like everything fell into play. And then when I started coaches, I knew exactly what to teach them once I learned it myself. So it was motivation out the gate, systems for sure every single day after that.
Love it. Okay, so when did you realize what was possible with health coaching?
Oh my gosh. Probably my first month, because I got my check. I didn't even sign up for direct deposit, because remember, I didn't listen to anything my coach said. And I think she was a little scared of me, which is okay. But now she loves me because she gets paid a lot of money because because I figured it out. But I really think I got my first check, and it was after 9 days of coaching, and I had signed up 7 people to get healthy, 7 or 8 people to get healthy, and I got a check for $750. And I was like, oh my gosh, they made a mistake. Like, there's no way I got paid this much money. Because I was that girl that got certified. I started my certification test at 9 p.m. on the last day of the month. So I had my extra 3%. I cried twice. My husband looked at me like I was a pregnant person. He was like, why are you so emotional? And I'm like, I'm going to take this test and it's hard. And they're asking me about, I don't even know. It was all a blur. But I mean, I got my extra 3%. And then at that point I was at manager. So I was making those percentages, and I got my tab, and all those things paid me $750. And I was like, this is crazy. Do you know how hard I have to work for $750? And do you know how hard I didn't have to work to make the $750? All I did was say yes. And I turned around and I said, okay, you want to get healthy, and I'm going to teach you to do what I did, which is just the 5 and 1. That is the only skill set you need to start this business. And once you figure that out and get out of your own way and stop trying to complicate things, then you totally realize the potential. You totally realize the potential.
I love that. So we have a lot of new coaches and seasoned coaches on here. So one question I have is, what are your suggestions for coaches who would like to grow their business and, grow to where you're at the level that you're at?
Oh gosh. Well, I think you probably already figured out that it's, listen to your mentorship. I say this all the time. A successful coach plays an amazing game of follow the leader. And that is truly what it is. And I'm gonna, drop a bomb on you guys right now, because I love you guys, but nobody's ever going to be perfect. Like, you've probably grown with a lot of these coaches on the line, and you've probably made mistakes and figured out what worked and what didn't work. Don't let mistakes detour you, or don't let a tweak in process detour you. It's really important to know that we're all learning and growing at the same time. And as long as you're hand in hand with your mentor coach, you guys can learn and create the business together. So if I were to say, what are some of the things to do, it's, again, be in the business of building senior coaches. Make sure the big rocks in your business are solid. For instance, launching people on Facebook. I'm not sure what your guys' process is, but I know what our process is, and we don't veer from it. And it literally creates rank ups and clients and solidifies. It solidifies. I don't even know what word I'm trying to say. It solidifies the Facebook launch so that there's no questions asked, that people get it from the very beginning. And that's such a huge rock because it creates that big momentum. If someone launches on Facebook and doesn't do it correctly, which I'm sure plenty of us have done it correctly and plenty of us have not done it correctly. So don't be scared if you have not done it correctly. You can clean up the mess, y'all. That's what Lysol wipes are for. So, you just have to figure out what those big rocks are that propel you forward in your business, like creating senior coaches, like doing a correct launch on Facebook, and starting a coach off correctly based on the systems that you know work. And another thing is, when you start coaches, don't overwhelm them with too much information. An overwhelmed coach goes nowhere. So we have a process that we follow. And sometimes these peeps, oh gosh, they don't know what they don't know. It's like, forgive me, Father, I know not what I've done. They get so excited to start their first coach. And I'm like, okay, give them this information, copy and paste, put it in their thread, right? So they'll put it in the thread, and I'm like, okay, this is going well. They copy and paste it, we're doing good. And then all of a sudden, I don't check my phone for 45 minutes, and they're like, hey, check out this video. It's really good too. And why don't you watch this? And this is really awesome. I'm like, friends, They just signed up for their health coach. They do not need to know how to get to integrated presidential today. They don't need to know. And it totally whacks them out. And then everyone's like, oh, what do we do now? And you can't take it back. Now what do you say? Like, hey, only watch this video and don't pay attention to the other ones. And then makes the coach sometimes look like they don't know what they're doing. But the thing is that they're just excited, so they don't follow the process. So follow the process, do it the same every time so that everybody gets the same experience. Everybody is due that right. Whether it's starting them on the 5 and 1 or starting them as a coach, give everyone the same process. That way you know you're checking off all the boxes from the very beginning and nobody's not getting what someone else got. Does that make sense? You want to give them a tool from the beginning.
I love it. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I know a lot of us also, struggle to, we have the 3, 3, and 3 that we all, know that we should be doing. There we go. The lighting's so much greater. So we have the 3, 3, and 3 that we all do. Is there any extras that you've done that you feel like it's really helped you in your business as far as, finding people that are looking for you?
Sure. So the 3, 3, and 3 can consist of so many different things as it comes to Facebook. So you want to do, your 3 posts, and don't shove health coaching down people's throats. You want to market to people without them knowing that they're being marketed to. Everybody has the money in some way, shape, or form to do this plan, but they have to be approached correctly. And it's not even an approach thing, because you're not messaging people and being like, hey, your muffin top was banging the other day. I think you need a little of what I got. Like, we're not doing that. It's just not what we're doing. But you want to post things that elicit an emotional response. So my before and after picture 20 times over is not going to do it. But Michelle's before and after picture may, speak to somebody. Josh's before and after picture may speak to somebody. Someone else on your team may speak to somebody. Me, over and over and over again, is not going to make it work. But there are different ways to post on social media. So of those 3 posts, I always say do like a lifestyle post, and then like before and after post, or something about health coaching, and then maybe some type of like motivational type thing. Because if you drill health coaching into people too much, it's going to do what we call social media fatigue. So I think that in that 3x3x3, something extra you can do is a Facebook Live. And it doesn't always have to be about health coaching, but it changes the algorithms on your page. And so it's super huge. Facebook Lives are awesome, even if it's about your kid at baseball, or if you're at SeaWorld or whatever. Start doing those kinds of things. You may be scared to death to do a Facebook Live about health coaching, but you will not be scared to death to do a Facebook Live about your kid doing baseball. So ease yourself into the things that you're uncomfortable with, because that's really important. There's also, sorry, someone was walking up to my car. They probably think it's weird that I'm talking to myself. But ease yourself, into those things. Adding 3 friends is awesome. Starting 3 conversations or more than that is very easy to do. Understanding where your comfort level is at outside of the 3x3x3 is really important. So just recently we were at a restaurant, and I was ordering chicken under a brick and at Macaroni Grill, and the guy was like, and I said no potatoes, and he was like, oh, you don't want the potatoes? They're so good. And I said, well, I just lost 82 pounds, so nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. And he was so intrigued. She's like, you lost 82 pounds? And I'm like, yeah, and I eat her all the time. And so it very casually opened up a way for me to speak about what had happened in Russ and I's life. And wouldn't you know, that guy signed up to be on plan, and he's now a coach. And so it's just the little things, being comfortable with who you are. Like today, I'm on here with no makeup except for lip gloss, because I'm really tan and my makeup doesn't match my tan. So I had to be comfortable with who I was, and I'm probably holding the phone really close to my face, so you guys are seeing like all my imperfections, but that's okay, because I've learned to be comfortable with who I am. And that is a really important part of your health coaching journey, guys. You are not going to be, makes me emotional, you're not going to be the same person that you were when Michelle and Josh found you, because they started this organization. And if you're the same person that you were when Josh and Michelle found you, or whoever your mentor coach is on this line, then nobody's doing their job. So in that time, it's really important that you become comfortable with being you. And it's really important that you learn and grow and learn how to serve others so that you can make the world a better place just by being with it, because that is what God created you for. And so those are really important things. I don't even know if I just answered your question.
I absolutely love it. And you look amazing. So don't worry. Okay, so my last question, because a lot of us here, you know, we really struggle. We have families, we have work, you know, we have all this craziness going on. And I know how crazy busy you are, you know, with Russ traveling all the time. You've got girls in cheer, one just graduated, I'm sure she's off to college. So all this craziness going on. So how do you manage your business while raising a family?
Oh gosh. So my cell phone dies like 3 times a day because I'm on it so much. I literally run my business from my cell phone so that I can be out and about. However, something that has really, really, really helped me is time blocking. And I'll kind of take you through some of the things that I do and some of the things that are rocks in my schedule for the month. So, and for all of you guys that have coaches on here, like you're a coach and you have coaches, so coaches of coaches, and you, well, these are my processes, but rocks in my schedule are beginning, mid, and end of month. Okay, and of course I touch my business every day, you know, more than an hour or two, but I certainly don't work full-time hours. I'll tell you that much right now. But I make more than full-time income. I mean, it's like crazy. I fall off my seat every time it's like the 15th of the month. But beginning, mid, and end are the crucial parts of your business. So the beginning of the month, I time block. And from the 1st to the 5th, I have every single day from 8 to 2. And I send out what's called a sign-up genius so that people can sign up so that I don't have to let them into my personal like iPhone calendar. I sign them up on what's called Sign Up Genius, and they get 30-minute slots. And the map is a rock in their schedule. My coaches do their map. A map is just as important in this day and age as having Waze or iPhone maps on your phone. It literally tells you where you're going. It tells you how to get there. It tells you where to make a right or a left. And if you get off track, it brings you back to where you need to be. So for my organization, the map is crucial. So from the 1st to the 5th, I'm doing maps. If you have not signed up to do a map by the 5th, then we're already off target, and that's okay because I make exceptions, and that's totally fine. And we'll do it, you know, later into the month. But if someone is serious about growing their business, your map should be done by the 5th because you need to get on your way, you know? Then at the mid of the month, I'm sending back out a Sign Up Genius again for 15-minute time slots to talk about mid-month numbers. Those are huge things in my business. And then at the end, I start running with my coaches like on the 23rd or the 24th. And those are huge time slots in my schedule. Just understanding like, okay, I know that it's the end of the month and I'm going to have to work my business 4 to 5 hours a day. And sometimes it's not even that much, but I have to make sure beginning, mid, and end, I have that time plotted out. And in the middle of all those days, I play really hard with my kids and we do lots of fun things. And I'm bringing my laptop to the beach, or I've got my phone fully charged and I've got a portable charger. And we just went to Hawaii, you guys, and we were there. We booked our trip for a week. We wound up staying for 11 days because we can. Thank you, Optavia. But I literally stayed on California time. And I woke up at 4:45 every single morning so that from the 1st to the 5th, my maps were done. And guess what I did? I was able to put my phone on airplane mode for several hours in the day, every single day, so that I could be with my family. But I didn't compromise the things that were really important. Because if my coaches see me going on vacation and saying, it's okay, we won't do your map till the 11th this month, it's fine because you're on my time clock, that doesn't work. They're your first priority. And so Now, granted, I've done it like that before where I'm like, I'm on vacation. Like, can we wait? But if I'm telling them it's super important, then it needs to remain super important. And so I'm raising a family, but I'm also building an obnoxiously huge business, all by making sure that I have time for the things that are really, really, really important. So,
I love it. I love it. So that is the end of my questions. Is there anything that maybe we didn't touch base on that really helped you or even your team in getting where you're at today?
Yeah, I keep people for our team and everybody down the line. Keep people at the center of everything that you do. The commissions, the ranks, the accolades, all those things will come if you just focus on people. There is no greater joy than to watch somebody's life change and to change the trajectory of their family tree. I heard somebody say this, I think it was Alicia, and she said, we're not changing families, or we're not getting America healthy, we're changing family trees. And that is the power that you have in your hands. And when you understand that, keeping people at the center of everything you do, and my hashtag is just love the people, it's so incredibly important. In addition to that, I have several hashtags that I use, and they all come with a message. So just love the people is the first one. Better together is the second one. We are truly better together. Don't go at this alone. Go with your mentor coach and bring as many people with you as you possibly can. I'm a woman of faith, so I'm going to say it again. In the Bible, it says we're better together. And so I'm not perfect, but I am a woman of faith, and I do believe that we are truly made to do life with other people. I have another hashtag, and it's called the best is yet to come. And when I think the best is yet to come, and I think of what that means, it means that we have our whole lives ahead of us. I did not know this hope even existed 3 years ago. And now that I do, that means that I can dream and dream bigger. And so it's really important to make goals for yourself. Put them on a whiteboard, visualize them, see them, and all of a sudden you'll get to wipe off those goals because you've already accomplished them and write new ones. And so if I could tell you the different amount of goals that we've gone through, that we've gotten to wipe off the whiteboard because we've completed them, it would blow your mind. We have something called the dream napkin, and we write our dreams on there, and then we revisit it a year later. And that has been such an amazing exercise for us because we get to see like what has been done. I'm talking so fast, so I'm like gasping. I'm gonna get hiccups any minute this happens to me because I get too much wind in my windpipe, so you'll have to bear with me. But I get really excited. So the dream napkin has been huge for us, and we literally started it based off of a conversation at convention that Dan Valentine had. And he said, oh, we wrote our dreams on this napkin that we got from the bathroom, like when we were at dinner. And so Russ and I did that first year that we came back from convention. We hadn't even been health coaches for a year. And we took this like cheesy paper towel and we wrote our dreams on it. And literally, it didn't even take a year. In like 9 months of time, all those dreams and then some had been crossed off. But we looked at it often and we did it. And so we started this thing with our team, and we give them dream napkins at every event. And so it's like the dream napkin ceremony. And it has been something so cool for our people to visualize and say, hey, I'm going to get on my dream napkin. Let's see what we crossed off on our dream napkin. But also to understand that the journey, sometimes your dreams don't get answered in the amount of time that you think, but the only reason why is because you're probably not doing the work that it takes to acquire the goal. So it's really important to understand that in this business, if you're doing the work, you will achieve your goal. You will acquire the life that you want. And that's a huge, huge thing. And then my last hashtag is something that I just added. When we were on the stage at Go Global, I said that our goal was to create an army of people with love on their arm that we're marching forward to change the world. And we've named that Lori's Army so that we can honor her legacy. Lori was a good friend of mine. She was a cheer mom. We used to meet up at competitions that her daughter Erica and my kids were at, and we were supposed to meet up. Her daughter was at World and my daughter was at Summit, but she was flying out the day that I was flying in, and she was gone 48 hours later. And so we had made plans, we had made goals, and so those soldiers with love on their sleeves that are going to change the world, that's Lori's Army. And so that's our last hashtag that we've added. So if you guys want to be part of Lori's Army, this was my first invitation. And we may be in different lines of mentorship, but it's one common goal to honor her legacy. And so those are just kind of our words to live by.
Amazing. I like your hashtags. I love them.
Hey, thanks. I love you.
I like your hashtags. Yeah, buddy. All right. So lastly, I know you got some shopping left to do, but lastly, what words of encouragement would you give to somebody that's frustrated because they're not bringing on the clients at the speed they want, or they're not finding the coaches after a few months or something like that, just to kind of help people push on?
I think that nothing great is ever made without an obstacle. The obstacle is the way, right? Never compare yourself to someone else. God only made one you. So it's really important to realize that everybody has a different set of gifts and talents, and yours may not be the same as the person next to you. They may be really good at something and you may suck at that, but guess what? You're really good at something that they suck at. So take your gifts and talents, figure out what they are, and do those really well. Figure out what you don't do really well and start getting good at that. Remember, you don't want to leave the same way as you came. It's all about the journey and the growth. And really lean into your mentorship team. Get on Zoom and really figure out how you can apply the things that they're teaching to your own journey. Figure out ways to think outside the box and figure out ways to just better your craft. People don't become a success overnight. They become a success because they've heard more no's until they get to more yeses. And so the only difference between me and the other end of the people on the screen, who I'm going to actually flip through the screen in a couple of seconds so I can see all the faces, is that I've heard more no's. And you haven't heard that many no's yet, but you're going to. And when you hear a no, just look at it as like those little orange cones in the middle of the street and just pass by them until you can find an opening that gets you through. Because you will get there. You really, really, really will. I promise you. But the key is usually leaning into your mentorship.
I love it. I love it. Well, Traci, thank you so much for hopping on. I know you're a busy bee, but you definitely brought on a lot of great knowledge, and I appreciate your heart and I appreciate your time. Maybe in the next, if anyone has maybe a question or two, I know you've got to get going, so we'll make it fast. Does anyone have a question that they'd love to ask? Now is the time.
Someone's thinking about the question I want to head to people. Hi, Johnny. I see your wife here from behind you. I'm Maria, your dog. Hi. I love it. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Karen. Hi, Paula. Hi, Laura.
I love it.
You're so cute. I love your smile. Hi, Christina. Now going to the link. They know looking up everything. I can't hear you, Andrew. Hi, Ashley, David, Karen, Jeremy, Ashley. Sally, somebody on my phone.
I love it. I love it. Does anyone have a question? Are we all good to go? Yeah, Sarah. Let me go ahead and unmute you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm similar in the sense that I'm not good at systems either. And so that is a fear factor that I'm kind of like listening and hearing you. How did you go about learning the system and putting it in order? Did you get that from your coach, and did your coach hold your hand to get the system in process?
My coach did not hold my hand, but she helped me clean up the messes. and said, hey, don't hate me, but you're doing this wrong. And that's why you're struggling in this area. Let's try this. She didn't hold my hand through the process. She just kind of corrected my course. I call it course correction. And usually there's a video for everything. So if you go to coachanswers.optavia.com, if you need to organize your binder, there's a video for that. If you need to, there's lots of different videos for stuff. But if you feel like there's areas that you're not thriving in as it pertains to organization, talk with your mentor coach or the mentor coach above them, or however that works in your line. Because some people have a mentor coach and they don't necessarily work with them. They work with the person above them. So however that looks for you, schedule like a 30-minute Zoom or something like that. And just say, hey, these are the things that I'm really struggling in. Do you have any input for me? And listen a lot, and then don't talk a lot. But just listen to everything that they're saying and write everything down. Go apply it to your business and look back and see what happens 2 weeks from now, and see if it's helped you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anyone else? I left my kids in Victoria's Secret. They're finally coming to the car now, 40 minutes later. Hold on. Oh. I had to sit back here because the sun was on my face. Okay. Anybody else? Anyone? I can't see you. Can you hear me? Okay, I just got something on my screen. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes, sorry, we muted ourselves, but awesome, Traci. Well, thank you so much. We love you. We're excited to see you at convention. For anyone who hasn't registered yet, you have to make it there.
You have to make it there, because I'll probably do something crazy on the stage, and you should probably be there, because they tell me to take 5 minutes, and I take 10 minutes and 28 seconds because I'm a robot.
I love it. I love it. Well, cool, guys. Well, thanks, everyone, for hopping on. Traci, thanks again. We love you. Excited to see you.
Go back to shopping.
All right, guys. Well, have a good rest of your night.